Okay, we have here a sign in Hebrew in big letters saying Kivrei HaMaccabim, the tomb of the Maccabees. So this must be the place, right? Or is it? Hello and welcome to another vlog by Danny the Digger, and this time I'm continuing the quest for the lost city of Modi'in and the lost site of the tomb of the Maccabees. Now let me try here a new technical component of directing the camera at me. Hold on. Okay, I hope you can see me better now and that the audio is also working. And once again, I was determined to try and track the ancient city of Modi'in, and we started at Giv'ati Torah, the most prominent hill in the region of the modern city of Modi'in, which has been investigated, surveyed in the 1990s, and proved to contain various remains, including from Hellenistic times. Unfortunately, to this day, the site has not been excavated. Now, one way of resolving the question of where is ancient Modi'in is by finding a very specific structure, a tomb, a royal tomb. It is described both by the Book of Maccabees and by Josephus as being a major structure with 7 pyramids over it, reliefs that are showing weapons and ships, and it could be seen from the Mediterranean. One site that was proposed to be that famous burial is a place called Kever Sheikh El Garabawi. It is a ridge facing an Arab village called El Midia, which was believed to be Modi'in, but surveys in El Midia have never uncovered remains from Hellenistic times, and B, the site itself, which was excavated already in the 19th century, again in the 20th century, in fact 20 years ago was another excavation conducted there, it did not reveal clear evidence of those 7 pyramids. So where is the tomb? If we can find a tomb, we could find the city. And the sign right over here is saying the tomb of the Maccabees. This is another proposal made in the 19th century. Let's check it out. Okay, here we go. These tombs were noticed by 19th century scholars, directed by local Arabs, who said that these tombs are Kubur el Yahud, yani the tomb of the Jews, the tombs of the Jews. Here we have the first one. Here we have 2 more with giant stones functioning as lids. All of these tombs were looted a long time ago. You can see the stone here was broken to reach the tomb itself, which unfortunately today is not only empty but full of trash. I wish someone would clean it. Here's another one with a fig tree growing out of it. And you have a few more over here. Now, they are quite interesting and quite ancient. People do not bury their dead in this manner anymore. The question is, do they qualify as the famous tombs of the famous Maccabees? And the answer, I hate to say, is probably not. They do not stand in any criteria to what the ancient texts or comparative analysis in archaeology seems to indicate. Okay, here are 2 more. You see that they all have like an arch inside with 2 niches to put bodies on both sides of the entry. Can't really get the camera in with this gimbal mounting. Oops. Here is another one with the stone still over it, but obviously it was looted in antiquity. And there is another one up ahead. Oh, a few more over here. Ooh. Right here. Here you can clearly see that arch formation. And what the trash is hiding is the lower part, which is like a bench, a ledge, a place to put a body inside. But one thing is clear. A, there are no 7 pyramids around here. In fact, there are more than 7 tombs. There are no reliefs, there's no structure. They're all carved into the rock. In fact, the tomb over here seems to be part of a quarry. This is all quarrying activity. Here is another giant boulder over another tomb, again sadly full of trash. This in fact looks like an element that could be identified as a wine press. Wine presses carved in this region are actually quite common. They're always comprised of a flat surface, a bit angled. The grapes are put over it and stepped on, and then by gravity the liquid also, as it does right now, as it just rained recently, it accumulates into the 2 little holes at the end where the final product, that grape liquid or grape juice we should call it, is gathered and then taken elsewhere for fermentation for the final product, good Holy Land wine. But is this connected in any way to the tomb of the Maccabees besides the sign? Apparently not. Apparently not. Already in the 19th century, when it was first noticed, Clermont-Ganneau, renowned French archaeologist, denounced that possibility, noticing that there are no pyramids, no reliefs, nothing that matches this description. And it actually dates to a later period, as indicated by marks of crosses that he noticed. So he dated this, as well as the Sheikh Garabawi site, which is not too far away from here. It's like the hill beyond those cypress trees. He dated the whole complex to the Byzantine Christian period, meaning this may have been a complex, these may have been tombs of people who lived here, maybe even monks, that commemorated the Maccabees and the Maccabean tomb. But the finds that we see today only relate to the commemoration period, to the Byzantine period, to the time that Christians dwelt here. And we know that the Christians remembered the place, as it's mentioned both by historical sources and also mentioned on the famous Madaba map, a 6th century map found in today's Jordan that depicts the Holy Land in great detail, including a mark for Modi'in. It says, if I remember correctly, Modi'in, today Modita, where the Maccabees came from. So I'm sorry, the site I just showed you is not ancient Modi'in. It's not the tomb of the Maccabees. And the reason the sign says was because of a mistake made in the early 20th century by school kids led by their teacher from the young city of Tel Aviv. The name of that school was Gimnasia Herzliya. And during Hanukkah, they came here for a visit, and he showed them these tombs, and the next thing you know, they started having visits and even a famous run, a public run, like a marathon to the site, and that is practiced to this day. That mistake, clear mistake from an archaeological point of view, is followed to this day. But this hilltop presents an interesting feature. First of all, we have here pyramids. 7? No, even more. But they're obviously from the Middle Cement period, yes? They were made in the second half of the 20th century, and these are really memorials, modern era State of Israel memorials for Israelis who died in battles in this region. The signs here are giving you the details. I mean, the location, the names, and the date, not the story of the battle. But if you tie the ends, you can see that these are the fallen soldiers from battles in this area, the area of Shilat, during the 1948 war. These are people who live in this region and died in different events. And each plaque here has a story relating either to 1948, more 1948, more 1948, or from later events. All sad personal tragedies of the death toll that we continue to pay for the existence of the State of Israel. But it's interesting that the state decided to mark these fallen soldiers in this monument by placing a memorial in the shape of pyramids. Now here comes an interesting note. A friend of mine, Dalit, who has done salvage excavation here, indicated that there is some Hellenistic pottery when she had to do some work here, I think related more to the antennas that were placed here. Maybe this hilltop is actually the place of where the royal Maccabean sepulchre used to be. I'm tempted to suggest this because being the highest point, from here you can see the Mediterranean, and the text, the old text tells us that that monument could be seen from the sea. An interesting note. And maybe if one day there'll be a proper excavation here, at least on the perimeter of the modern monument, we'll have more details. But I want to take you to one more spot on the side of this hill, which is another interesting anecdote. It is a tomb uncovered in, I believe, 1996 by an archaeologist called Shimon Riklin. Today he's more known as a politician slash journalist, or let me rephrase it, a very political journalist, big supporter of Netanyahu and Likud and the right wing. And when he was more of an archaeologist, he was in charge of salvage excavations conducted here prior to expanding this road, the alternative road between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. The main highway today is called road number 1, but this side road at some point was also turned into a highway. And let's check out what he discovered right here. I believe it's over here. Aha. Well, this is not what we're here for. This is another cistern to collect rainwater and then provide for the husbandry, the the animals. Pottery shards are scattered around here. But this is the peculiar tomb. Aha! So, we have here a genuine unlooted tomb from the 1st century. Feeling a bit like Indiana Jones, eh? Now, when it was excavated, Shimon found here a few ossuaries, which are like small bone boxes for the redeposition of bones after the rest of the body decays. That bizarre Jewish burial habit was practiced around the time of Jesus, around the time of the Second Temple, and around the time of the Maccabees. Most of the names were in Greek, but there was one name in Hebrew which he read as El-Azar. El-Azar, I'm reminding you, was one of the brothers of Judas, which died in the 5th battle against the Seleucid Greeks when an elephant fell over him. Anyway, there are no pyramids here, no reliefs, nothing. And still, it was suggested, hey, maybe this is that royal tomb. I think Shimon ended up being the only person following that theory, and he probably does not follow it anymore, as it just doesn't seem to match. But it does indicate that there are tombs here. It does indicate that maybe this tomb is built around the more famous tomb, the tomb of the kings, the tomb of the Maccabees. So where is ancient Modi'in? Well, 2 more vlogs in this mini-series are going to continue the review. The next one is going to be at the site where the Crusaders thought that Modi'in is. So follow me for the next vlog. And of course, hit subscribe and hit like and tell everyone about this new vlog by Danny the Digger. Oh, and if you're in a generous mood, I would really appreciate a little humble donation so I can continue this vlogging. Being a tour guide without any work for nearly 2 years, it's quite depressing, and I'm doing this with very minimal gear. I could really use a good wireless microphone, for instance. So if you're in a good, generous mood, check out in the description of this video where you can contribute through my PayPal account. So long for now. Litaot.